Welcome to Down Ancient Trails, the online archaeology forum of the Sharma Center for Heritage Education, India. Brush the dust off long forgotten thoughts. Slice through time and space.
Listen to stories in stone.
Whispers of voices lost in time.
Build bridges across worlds.
Curious minds reach out to the past. And travel down ancient trails.
I will speak about four main things in southern Mesopotamia, actually. The first one is reconstruction of ancient rivers and canals in southern Mesopotamia. So this will be the first task. The second task will be actually dating of ancient rivers and canals. So finding them, reconstructing them, and then different them. There are two different ways of reconstruction and other different way of dating. I will also talk about a case study, so many case studies actually in southern Mesopotamia, but I will try to choose one simple case study. And then I will talk about the climate change in southern Mesopotamia in the last 12,000 years. So as you know, this is the geographical South Mesopotamia. So we have whole the Mesopotamia, the land between Tigris and Euphrates. Actually, it covers, from southern Turkey, part of Syria and whole of Iraq, some part of Iran, and some part of the Arabia. So this is the geographical or environmental Mesopotamia. I will speak about only this part, the floodplain of Mesopotamia, which is nearly from southern Baghdad, north of Baghdad, here from Samarra, and then Baghdad, Babylon, and then down to Ur, and then the Gulf. So this is my area of interest, the floodplain of southern Mesopotamia, where Tigris and Euphrates, actually, they are unstable there. They are stable, of course, in the north. There is no river change in the north of Iraq, Syria, or Turkey, but in the floodplain, so many changes during the time. So as you can see here, this is my area, the floodplain of Tigris and Euphrates. So it's a basin, actually, as you can see here, a basin surrounded by Zakros mountain from the east, Iran, and the north, you see the Al-Jazeera highland, and then from the west, Saudi Arabia and Jordan and, the desert, the western desert. So we have a basin so that Tigris and Euphrates play in this basin. Sometimes I say Tigris and Euphrates playing in a stadium, actually, like a football stadium, because they are free to go everywhere inside this basin. So Tigris, we can see it here now, but sometimes maybe Tigris was there or even there. Euphrates here in this time, but Euphrates was there and there and there. So this is the area where Tigris and Euphrates free to move during the time. And of course, Tigris and Euphrates actually is the one main water resources in this area. So we don't have rainwater, we don't have spring, we don't have other type of resources, only Tigris and Euphrates. So that's why people actually build their settlement close to this river. To achieve my goals in this study, I used wide range of tools and methods. So, for example, I started with historical text, reading historical texts such as Islamic or even Sassanian historical text, and then historical maps from Islamic period and then from the Ottoman period. We have lots of maps. And then Orientalist map, lots of information actually in the Orientalist map and text. Pottery and cuneiform, so that we can date the canals or rivers. And then ground truthing. I go to the field for digging, for checking out everything that I saw in the office work. And then laboratory work, for example. Lots of samples actually I got from doing, digging borehole. Landsat satellite image, I also used. Digital globe satellite image. Corona, not coronavirus, but corona satellite image, which is the satellite image that was taken by the US during the Civil War in the 1950s. SRTM, which is digital elevation model to know the topography from satellite image, and then topographical maps. And then finally, my specialty, which is geological maps and geological work. So all of these type and disciplines of way actually helped me in and fully understand the geology, the archaeology of the southern Mesopotamia. Sometimes actually geologists, pure geologists, they don't understand archaeology. And vice versa, actually, the archaeologists, the pure archaeologists, they don't understand the geology. So to me now, actually, I can fully understand the geology and I can fully understand the archaeology. So that's why you will see there's something new in my study, actually, or in my finding. So when I say natural river, I mean the river that naturally running, not dug by people. So when that natural river actually dried out or died, it will be like that in the ground. So when I see a river like that in the ground, I can say, okay, it was like a natural river. But in a canal like that one, you see that canal. So I can say, okay, this canal was dug by the people. So that's why I can recognize between canals and natural rivers. Okay, so canals actually has three periods or 3 ages. So the date of construction is really important. The date or the period of using this canal is really important. And the day when this canal were dried or died. So 3 dates for each canal. I have to find them to fully understand the story. Yeah, so in terms of reconstruction method, as you can see here, this is a quick bird satellite image. You can actually easily see the ancient river here. You see it's a trace. So that one is ancient river here. And then this is its banks or crevasse play, or its break of levees. So we have a huge ancient river here. Also, for me, I can see here is a site, and also here is a site. And as you can see here in the my reconstruction. So this is a satellite image, and this is my reconstruction for this satellite image as an example. As you can see, we have a course of ancient river. That one as well, that one actually is also ancient river, but from different period. So you can see the direction of that one is from, let's say, from north to south, but that one from east to west. So you see, we have more than one courses in the same time for different period of rivers. So this is just the an example about how to reconstruct the ancient river or canal in southern Mesopotamia using satellite image. This is an example of recognizing or reconstructing the canals, as you can see here, that one. You can see the canal here, for example, 2 levees and the canal bed here inside. This is that one is also an ancient river, for example. You can see the wide meandering of the ancient river. So that one is canal because it's so straight and has 2 tight levees. But that one is an ancient trace of an ancient river because, you know, it's so wide and has lots of meandering scars. That one is a site, actually. I also recognize all the sites in southern Mesopotamia. So I did trace them, spot them, all the sites in southern Mesopotamia, plus the canal and rivers. So that one is clearly a site, you know, it's rectangular shape, and you know it's so clear. That one is also a site, you know, it's elevated and its shape look like a site. So I found lots of sites and canals in the satellite image. The other type of satellite image is Corona satellite image, 1960. So it's, let's say, old satellite image when the surface of southern Mesopotamia was intact. There was no big or large construction project before the reclaiming the land or the irrigation system. So everything was as there. So it's so easy to see the canals, the ancient rivers, and archaeological site actually. So for example, we have an ancient river here, as you can see. So yes, the modern remote sensing, the ancient remote sensing are actually really useful in understanding or in reconstructing the ancient river and canals, and also the sites. Elevation, actually, the elevation is really important, really issue and really important in southern Mesopotamia, because we have a floodplain, which is like a flat area, but the sites actually are ridge. And the site is like a mountain or mount. The river, the ancient river, even the modern river actually, it's look like a ridge. So topography here is really important. It's not like in Europe or in any mountain country like, you know, Turkey or Syria or so. So the difference between a river running in Europe, for example, or a river running in southern Mesopotamia is that we have in southern Mesopotamia, we have the river bed actually and its levees above the floodplain. So the water is higher than, the water level is higher than the land, the farm. But in the mountain, let's say mountain area, we have the inverse. I mean, we have the river here actually down, and then the floodplain or the settlement, the forest also, it's uphill. So that's why if we make a section, we can see this. That one is in Baghdad, that photo. So clearly you can see the Tigris is running like that. And then we have two levees, and then the garden, the date palms garden, and then the floodplain, the farms here. So if someone, for example, break the levees, so the water by gravity automatically will go through the levees and then irrigate the land here. As you can see here, for example, just if we break the levees, the water will go to the field. Yeah, so the topography is really important, and as you can see, I used SRTM, Shutter Radar Topography Mission, to recognize the sites and the canals and the rivers. So for example, here's the modern Tigris and modern Euphrates, and that one actually the ancient one. So you can see they are highly elevated than the surrounding area. So it's easy to pick them up, as you can see. And also you can see some sites, for example, that one site, lots of sites, Babylon is here. So so many sites and so many rivers, ancient rivers. I mean, I can reconstruct them by using topography. I also used cuneiform text to both maybe reconstruct and date the ancient rivers. So many texts actually written contains lots of stories or mentioning the canals, the ancient rivers, how many labor we need, which king gave an order to reconstruct or to dig a canal, floodings, everything. So many information in the cuneiform text about irrigation system or ancient rivers, or even how people can follow or to stop the flood or follow the modern river and leave the other land. So cuneiform actually is a really important resource of information about canals. Also, Islamic historical text, which dated back to the 700 AD. We have lots of information in it, actually. So this is the southern Mesopotamia, the Mesopotamian floodplain during the Islamic period. As you can see, the Tigris is here, and that one is Euphrates. Kufa was the capital of Islamic empire, is here, and Wasit, and so many Islamic cities. Actually, I can read them, I can point them out. Even, as you can see, Euphrates, for example, Euphrates here. So you can see it's a branch, 1, 2, 3, 4 branch. And then the marshes, you can see them just south of Kufa. In terms of Tigris, you can see its branches, the branches that feed Tigris from Iran. And then Baghdad is here, and then, down to Basra and the Gulf. So this map can give me an idea about the location of the ancient rivers and the location of the site during that time. In terms of dating, dating is really important. So after I did reconstruct the ancient river and canals, actually I am trying to dating them. So associated archaeological sites. So if we have a site close to river, then I assume that the site and the river could be the same date. So for example, in this example, actually, you see we have one main river here. In this part, the river is stable. So maybe it lasts for maybe 2,000 years. Let's say from 3,000 to 1,000. So this river stayed in its place for more than 2,000 years. But in the south, as you can see here in this example, we have three periods of river. So that one is dated 3,000, and then that one when moved or dried, so the river will move to here, and of course the people have to move to here as well. So we have a new pattern of settlement, and we have a new river, and we have a new period of civilization. So that one, let's say, dated 2000. And then during that time, actually, that river must move to another area, and then people should leave the first place and move to the new place. So we have a new settlement. So in this example, actually, we have three main things. The first one that we have a river last for a long period of time, and then we have a three pattern of settlement during a different time. So I did lots of boreholes in southern Mesopotamia, more than 100 boreholes actually. I used the hand auger one, which is maybe can reach 8 or 7 meters in depth. So I dug lots of boreholes from Baghdad to Basra. As you can see, I spent 3 months doing this borehole actually during my PhD, and I spent lots of money in doing that. So we was a team actually, workers, cars, scientists, people, and then it's a big plan actually. So yeah. Anyway, so each borehole here actually it's maybe 7-8 meter depth, and I got lots of sediment, maybe 1 or 2 tons of sand and clay from all of the southern Mesopotamia. Yeah, I have a room in my house which filled of clay. I have to sort them out and then send the required sample to the UK or the USA for test, or even to my university here in Al-Qadisiyah to do lots of tests. Yes. This is, as you can see here, the length of the hand auger, 7 or 8 meters. And how many workers helped me to dig one borehole here. And then this is the sample of, just example of the sample. You can see the black here, which is organic material, and shale. So shale is good for radiocarbon dating. So this is an idea about how I dig and then collect sample and then get the required shale and then send it to the laboratory to get the date. This is another example about my ground truthing. So when I saw everything in satellite image, and I should visit the specific site to see whether they are rivers or canals or whatever they are actually. So for example, this ancient river here, as you can see, it's meander. So the area here, it's that one. And then I took samples from the levees for several purposes of analysis. And this area here actually is here close to its bank. So I dug I dug a borehole, and so many sites actually here. So close to the river. That one may be Islamic also, so I can say that river is were active during the Islamic period. Another example actually of ground or satellite image and ground truthing and the analysis of shale here. So that one is an ancient river, as you can see, so clear. And I dug a borehole here, and then you can see the section actually. I can't dig a borehole here, for example, but that one is a section. So you can see in this section the sediment. We have a light sediment, dark, different in color and different in texture, in sediment. So for example, that one we have in this bed, for example, we have a shale. I dated the shale, it's 125 to 100 BC. So then I can assume that river was active during this period of time. That one is close to Uruk. So you see we have already a quarry here. It's already open. So you can see how many beds we have. That one is red, and then that one is green, that one is dark. So each bed has an environment. That one may be for a floodplain environment. That one may be for lake or marshes. That one is different one for floodplain again. So I took a sample from that bed, shell sample from that one, and then use it for my analysis. That one is close to Ur, actually. We have a quarry, big quarry here. So that one is a good section. I dug a borehole here, actually. I reached the sea sediment, the Gulf sediment, the saltwater sediment. But here, from here to here, actually, it's a freshwater sediment. So I took, for example, the sample is from here. As you can see, we have shale and then marsh sediment. And then I dated the shale, and as you can see, 770 to 900 AD. Another example of doing my job, which is digging lots of borehole during this hand tool, and then hand auger, and then take samples and then dating them. And as you can see, the date is here. Also, another example about that one in close to Girso. Actually, we have 2 meters of modern sediment covering that one, which is really black or dark marshy sediment dated back to 430 to 580. Of course, when I go deeper, I will get older. Also, another example about the matching between the shale, the pottery, for example, and then the shale date. There is a matching between them, between the shale and the shale date and the pottery date. That one is close to Uruk, that section. So as you can see here, a section of 10 meters in thickness or in depth. that bed is dated back to maybe 5,000 BC. That one is 3,000 or 4,000, and that one is 700 BC. So you see the different period of time, and all of them actually within the 10,000 years of Holocene. This is my area of study. Sometimes actually we find pottery like that one inside the bed, so it's easy to date them as well using pottery and radiocarbon dating. Okay, so as you can see here, I mean the result of my study. So the black dot point actually is the site. We have more than 8,000 sites in southern Mesopotamia and floodplain. So 8,000 sites actually being traced and GIS referenced, and then as you can see them here in my study. In terms of ancient canal, you can see and rivers actually, you can see the black lines, actually they are the ancient canal. So floodplain, the Mesopotamian floodplain, I mean, Tigris, the modern Tigris and Euphrates, and then as you can see the archaeological site, more than 8,000, and then you can see the ancient canals and rivers. So you see how many data we have, how many canals, how many rivers we have in this area in Iraq. Lots of sites, lots of ancient river, and each area has so many stories actually. And then I managed to reconstruct the past in terms of the location of rivers and canals in each period. So in the Middle Holocene, that was the case in southern Mesopotamia. You see the Gulf can reach near Ur, and they're near Amara here, you know, Gerso somewhere here, Uma. So the Gulf was there. Now actually the Gulf, you know, near here, Basra, the modern Basra is here. So the modern Basra was in the Gulf in that time. So I managed to reconstruct the ancient shoreline of the Gulf, as you can see here. And then I reconstructed the main ancient rivers, even in the middle and the south of Iraq. So this is the geography, the landscape archaeology during the Middle Holocene of southern Mesopotamia. That one is also the landscape archaeology during the Sassanian, or the Parthian and Sassanian and the Islamic period. So as you can see, the Gulf just became down, the shoreline is here, and we have lots of marshes in this area, not a Gulf. And then we have marshes here around Kufa, Baghdad, marshes everywhere, I can see them. And you see the changes of the location of rivers. So that one is in the Holocene, and that one is in the late, Parthian or Sassanian period. Okay, this was my result, actually, the main result. If I need to choose a case study, so I would prefer Babylon, as I live in Babylon, actually. So this is my area. I live here in Jaafer. So Jotheri, it's my tribe here, actually. So Babylon is here, the ancient Babylon, the famous one. So that one is the reconstruction of ancient canals and rivers during the Babylonian time. 3,100. to 1000 BC. So as you can see here, Euphrates, the main Euphrates course was here, north of Babylon, was running here. And a little branch actually came from that one called Puratim. Puratim is the ancient course of Euphrates. So we have a branch came from here, start from Puratim, take water, and then go through Babylon. And then, you know, we have another branches here, and then goes down to the south. Uruk actually is here. So that one, the landscape during that period. So, of course, this the location of the ancient rivers and the site after the 1000 BC was, of course, different, as you can see here, for example. So during that time, I mean 1000 to 125 BC, we have that one, the main course of Euphrates actually became just a minor course, and the Babylon River actually became the main river. So it was a branch, just a branch, and now became the main course of Babylon. And this, its location, there is a change, big change in location, but that one is still the same, goes to the, running to the south. So this is the map or the scenario number 2 in this time. And then during the, let's say, the late Sassanian or the early Islamic period, we have lots of changes actually. The Euphrates stay the same, the main Euphrates River that go through Babylon also stayed the same course. And then you see how many rivers and canals in this area. You know, during the Sassanian or the Parthian time, you know, lots of digging or irrigation technique actually modified and developed. And that's why we have intensive network of irrigation system during the Sassanian. Then after that, actually, at the end of the Islamic period, we have, sorry, there is a cut in my,
Yeah,
sorry.
it's okay. It's okay.
It's from my side, oh, sorry, that's fine.
Yeah, no problem. There is time.
Okay, so you can see my screen now?
Not yet. Not yet. I think you need to share your screen again.
Okay, I will.
Okay.
Sorry.
The green button?
Yes.
The green.
Yeah, but
Yes.
my screen is so little.
Okay, no problem.
Oh yeah, that one, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Share.
Yeah, that's fine. It's come now.
Oh, good.
Yeah, not to worry. Yeah. Okay, we are good.
Yeah. So during the fourth, during the you know, the late Islamic period, actually, we have different courses of Euphrates, and then move to Hilla, and then we have new cities, new towns, and also new canals running in that time. But you know, during the, let's say, Mongol invasion, most of the irrigation system collapsed, and then we have lots of marshes. The running canals actually choked and stopped from running, and we have floodings. So it looked like a disaster. So that's why we have most of the canals actually disappeared. So if we compare between the past period, you see the density of the canals on the site. You know, that one, the dot is actually sites. So you see the density of site and canals. And if we compare it with if we compare it with the late Islamic period, you can see little canals and little sites. So you see what is the disaster or the problem of Mongol invasion happened or made to this city. Also, that course actually is from the 19th century to the 20th century AD. So that one is well documented by the Ottoman Empire, actually. So each change or move or flooding or drought, well documented by the Ottoman archive. So as you can see here, we have the holy city of Karbala and the holy city of Najaf, two holy cities. And then the main river actually is away from them, the Euphrates. So people actually dug a canal from Euphrates, the main course Euphrates, to feed the holy city of Karbala. And also they dug another canal from here to feed the holy city of Najaf. And then during the time, actually, that one and that one became the main Euphrates. I mean, people dug a small canal, and that small canal became the main course, and the original course actually dried out. So people actually intervene to make the change of the river. So I heard so many stories from my father, grandfather, and great-grandfather about the drying out of their course, which is Hilla course, and then people moved from this course to the new course close to Karbala and Najaf, and then we have new marshes, and then their gardens and the farm became like a desert, so they went to other area to have a new land. So many stories about the movement of the people and their settlement, looking for the water, actually. Sorry. Yeah. Okay, that one is another example of how I mean, people from age of my grandfather actually trying to intervene to block the river, or you know, just divert its water. So it's just a big roll of reeds, and you can see the people, women and men, try to block the ancient, the running river in that time. The last part, actually, from my presentation, my long presentation, I'm sorry, is the climate change. So I used, I mean, we are a team, actually. We used the phytolith to recognize the type of planet in southern Mesopotamia. I mean, which planet was dominating the southern Mesopotamia. Actually, it was interesting to see that oak trees were in southern Mesopotamia from 10,000 to 6,000 BC. I can imagine actually in my area, I can see the oak and in my where I live now, actually, it's now desert. We have oak in northern of Iraq, in Sinjar and Mosul, or in Iran, in Syria maybe, but we don't have it in southern Mesopotamia. But in that time, there was actually oak in that time. So that's mean the climate in the past, I mean, the early Holocene was much wetter than now. So we have a wet climate at the beginning of early Holocene until the 6,000 BC. Yeah, imagine we have this landscape in southern Mesopotamia, lots of oak trees. And then we have the dates. The dates palms tree actually were in southern Mesopotamia since 10,000 BC. So there is coexisting between the oak trees and the date palm trees. But at the beginning, we have oak more than dates. And then the oak disappeared in 6,000 BC. And then the palm tree actually dominated the southern Mesopotamia. This is another proof that the area of southern Mesopotamia started with wet environment and then go toward a dry environment. So this is what's look now in southern Mesopotamia, close to my home, a garden of lovely palm trees, and then we are going to face a dry and more arid climate in the future. I'm really sorry for the long presentation, and thank you very much for listening.